thank you for being here with me today. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule and to give us some tips. And then the things that you are doing also, it's very interesting, and I'm just looking forward to learn how you are impacting people's in your lives, and also to learn why do you call yourself a career optician, because that's
Yes.
super interesting. After more than 12 years in corporate America, how did the idea of leaving corporate America and get into coaching come along?
Oh my God, so many good questions. So many good questions. So I'm going to start by saying who I am. So I am a career optician, and I help people see the work that they were born to do. So that is not something that, when you're born, you have it, but you don't really know what it is until you go on your journey. So I was working in Manhattan. I did sales and marketing for over 12 years. And I realized I always felt like I was in the wrong place. And then when you are in the wrong place, the universe sends you signs. You're in the wrong place, you're in the wrong place, you're wrong place. If you're unhappy in your career, it means that you're meant to be somewhere else. So I did it for 12 years. I just couldn't do it anymore. I was working all the time. It was too much, but I was in the wrong place. If I was in the right place, I would have stayed. So I put myself on a journey to find a career I loved. And that's how I got into coaching. And now what I do is I help other people find careers that they love.
And there's nothing better than that. It's from experience, and experience worth a lot. That's all
It
I have
is.
to say. So, can you tell us about Surpass Your Dreams, Inc.?
Yes. So Surpass Your Dreams is like the piece of it. So it's a career optician where you help people see different things from a new pair of lens, a different perspective. So Surpass Your Dreams is a part of that, which is the career coaching, which is I help people find new jobs, new careers, and overcome challenges in the workplace. That's the umbrella. And the career optician is something that I recently trademarked myself as, because I started to, the more work that you do and the more healing work you do, you get to know yourself better. And what I realized is, this is what I do. I help people see things, and that I had to help myself see things first. So now I know what it is. I am absolutely positively doing the work that I was born to do. And now I want to help other people do the same.
Absolutely. So, what are the services that the company offers?
Well, we have career coaching, right? And that is
Uh-huh.
the new jobs. I like what I do, but I want to do it somewhere else, right? So I like it, but maybe I don't like the people, the politics, my boss, the culture. That's a job change. I also help people with career change. Let's say you're an accountant, and if you did another spreadsheet, you just run out of the room screaming. So I don't like what I do, and I want to do something else. That's a career change. And I also help people with challenges in the workplace. So I have a new boss. I have a coworker that's driving me crazy. I want to get ahead in my career. And now it's even more so because everything's by Zoom. So like if you're not showing up in Zoom and speaking up and being powerful, you can easily be left behind.
Absolutely, and you're right with that. So pretty much, even if they already have the job, if they are facing some sort of trouble, but they still want to keep the job, you can guide them on how to fix that problem so they can keep that job that they love.
Yeah, because not everybody wants to leave. Sometimes with career coaching, it's about change, and the word change really scares people,
Mm-hmm.
even though change is very slow. Unless there's something catastrophic that happens, change is really slowly over time. So people really want to be able to work it out where they are first, if they can. If they can, it's like a relationship. Before you leave, you want to give it your best shot. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe, if you are having difficulty with your boss, maybe I will coach you through the process of having a conversation with your boss. If you want to propose a new idea, we'll work on the strategy. Like, what's the new idea? How do you propose that? We'll do some role playing. If you want a salary increase, we'll talk about that. But people really want to give it their best shot where they are. And then if not, then we can segue into job search mode if that's what you want.
Do you have some sort of process? Let's say, for example, that someone that is a entry level trying to get to leadership level. Do you have like some sort of process you take them through so that they can get to that level in
Yes.
life?
Yes. Well, it's like a big picture thing, that gets customized to the person. So It's like a 5-step process, and the beginning is describe what you want, and that's the vision, and that's if you can't see it, you can't do it, and that's where the whole career optician piece came from. Because people come to me and say, "What do I do? What do I do?" And what I say to them is, "What do you want? What do you want?" You have to be able
Mm-hmm.
to see it first. So you push the decision aside, and then you say, "What is it?" And that's the D. That's describe what you want, but that's really your vision. Once you have that, you move into E. The program is actually called DECIR. 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 So
CIR.
the first is D, which is describe what you want. And then the E is the exploratory piece. So now that you have it, you can see it. You can't really go into the C, which is creating your game plan at this particular point. There has to be a step between saying it and then doing it. So exploratory is looking at the marketplace, looking at job descriptions, looking at different things, whatever it is. That's the exploratory phase. And then you move into step number 3, which is create your game plan, right? Once you see it and you've done your research, then you could start doing it. I is implement your plan. Right. So sometimes you know what you want, but you have to break it into, take a big overwhelming goal, you break it into smaller pieces, you do one thing at a time. That's implement. And then R is reach your goal. And I go on the premise of, if you do the work, you can absolutely positively reach your goal. And sometimes when people come to me, they don't believe it yet, because when you're unhappy in your career in the beginning, you have self-doubt and your confidence is a little bit lower. So I'm a little bit more of your catalyst in the beginning, like, yes, we can do this. But if you do the work, you can absolutely positively reach your goal. And that's the R when you get there.
And you are there with them from the beginning until the end. So every step of the way.
Yes. Yeah. And I meet people in different places. Some people have no idea what they want. So then we might do a little bit more work on the vision and exploratory work. Some people have already done that work and they know what they want. So, but they haven't really mapped it out. So we go into the career planning piece. Some people have already done the career planning piece. They know what they want. They're just not taking the actions to get there. So I meet people in different places in their journey, but yes, I can walk you through, A to Z from beginning to end.
But I like what you just said, because a lot of other people will just say, "Hey, this is my program. You have to take it from the beginning to the end." But I like the fact that you're meeting them where they are, so you don't waste their time, because you know that they already know that, which is a very important thing for some people, especially busy people that's trying to just get ahead in their lives. I like that.
Yeah, but I do check in. I do check in. Just because you say you know what you want doesn't mean it's really crystal clear. So someone will say, "I just want a plan." Absolutely. But let's just go through your vision. Let's just see what it looks like. Let's just run through it. And then sometimes they'll be clear on their vision, but they're not really ready for planning, even though they want to move into planning. So we'll check in and say, "Well, let's see the exploratory work. Let's see the research work that you did." So I do check in those stages, but if you've done the work, we would go through those stages a bit quicker.
I like it. You actually care. I love that. You care about your work and you care about the success of each of your clients, which is
I
important.
love my work. I get to get up every single day. I get to help people with their career and their lives. And I absolutely love it. Like, this is my purpose. This is my passion. Again, this is the work that I was born to do. So I want other people to be able to do that also, because when you do, it's like you're happy, you have energy, you have purpose. It doesn't mean that you don't have to work on some of the other areas of your life, but at least this piece is handled and you feel really good about it.
Exactly. I love it. So not many do a job that they love, constantly feel lost, and sometimes they can't quit. How do you help them take the bold step toward the dream job? So because I know it can be a little bit hard for people to even do anything. They're just stuck.
They're just stuck. If you're stuck in the day to day, that means you lost sight of your bigger picture. And if you have your dreams, it's really important. It's really, really important to come back to it. So, how do sometimes when I talk to people about their dream career, they, "Oh, what, the fantasy? Oh, I can't possibly do that." So it's really important that you stop doing that to yourself and you stop saying what you want is impossible, because why isn't it possible? And then the goal is to break it into steps. Now, your career is 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Like, your career is a long stretch. So you don't have to do everything today. So if there's something you really truly want to do, but the timing is off, you have kids, you have to pay for certain things, you have bills, then maybe that dream thing that you really love becomes your hobby in the short term. And then you say, okay, this is where I am right now. I'm choosing to stay in this job because it pays me what I'm worth and what I need, but I will do this other thing on the side. But we can still do planning. We can do short-term goals, long-term goals. So maybe your short-term goal is to stay where you are right now, but then we start to do long-term planning. Say, okay, how do we take this and how do we take this and get you ready for that? Because where you are in this moment of time, you're not always going to be in this moment. So we can plan for the future, and that's the strategy piece, right? We do big picture first, and then we break it into smaller pieces. And then when I meet people, what I find is they want to go right into the smaller piece, but you're not ready to do that. You need this big picture so you can see it, And also, what you said earlier is, and what I was saying is, if you're stuck in the day to day, you lost sight of your bigger picture. As human beings, we need something bigger than ourselves to shoot for. And if you're not doing that, you're going to be stuck and you're just not going to have that energy. You're going to feel powerless. So taking a step back and saying, what do I want and what's important to me? It helps you feel better. It lifts you up. And then it gives you the energy to do the work that's necessary to move out of a situation that you're just not happy in.
Yes, if you can picture it, if you can see it, then it's
Do
possible.
it. If you can see it, you can do it.
Yes,
A new pair of glasses for your career.
career. Absolutely. So, since you have been a part of the corporate structure and you very, very well know that it is not just about loving your job, you
Mm-hmm.
might be one that you love, but yet you face a lot of challenges with it, right? So,
Yeah.
how do you motivate your clients to surpass them? And do you use any particular philosophy that they need to follow for that?
It's an internal shift that takes place. So
Hmm.
you can because I don't believe you change until you have to. People don't change until they have to, right? So the cons have to outweigh the pros. So if you're in a situation and the pros outweigh the cons, you're probably not going to act. You're probably not going to do anything. You're probably not that unhappy. If the pros and the cons match, you can stay. That means you're comfortable. Sometimes you like your job, sometimes you don't. It's very situational. It really depends. So, like, one moment you like it, one moment you don't. If the cons outweigh the pros, then you'll act. You'll act. So you get to a point where I can't do this anymore. And that's how I felt in my corporate job. It wasn't aligned with my soul. I wasn't happy. I was meant to do something else. And I said, I can't do this anymore. And that's your switch. And once you switch, then you start to make changes because you become more afraid to stay where you are. Right. And it doesn't mean that it does not work. It doesn't mean it's not easy, but you're more afraid to stay where you are. And that is your catalyst for change.
And that is something that you can actually help them to be able to make that change.
Oh, once you make that change, absolutely. See, that's the people I meet. That before that, I'm in convincing mode. I'm convincing you to do something. It'll never work. That switch has to go off where you say, I'm ready to act. And then I can walk you through my 5-step process. Say, okay, what do you want? Let's do the exploratory work, the planning, the implementation, reach your goal. But there has to be a switch that comes off within you or you won't act. It's like losing weight. You can't do it until you say, I'm ready. The switch is I'm ready. And then the rest of it is
Right.
just, breaking it into smaller pieces.
Absolutely. One thing I like is your motto. It's like when you said, if you want something different, you have to do something different. And
Different. Yeah.
it's very interesting. Can you tell us more about it? Why do you choose that exactly?
Because if you can't see the bigger picture, you get stuck in the day to day, right? And the day to day is your comfort zone. So you can get stuck doing the same thing, the same routine, right? I get up the same time, I do the same thing all the time. Things don't happen. in that I'm doing the same thing all the time. It's like you have to do something different. You have to shake things up. You have to try new things. That gets you out of your comfort zone. And when you do, it builds your confidence, because when you're unhappy in your career, your confidence gets a little bit lower. So it's like you have to kind of, if you do these things and shake it up a little bit and try new things, because trying new things is your way out, then you start to feel better. Then you start to feel better. Then it builds your confidence, little pieces. And then you recognize that it's these little different things that build up, and then you're like, wow, I did 10 things, I did 20 things. Well, if I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. So that's why they're doing something different, like really truly is the beginning of transformational change.
Wow, that's powerful. So
Cool. It's
there's been
cool, right?
time. Yeah, it
I'm
is.
sorry, go ahead.
So is there's been time where you have client that showing like the slowness to be coached by you because they scared of moving forward, they're scared of change, or because they are just comfortable where they are. They want to move away, but they're too comfortable. So how do you handle that to actually get them off that comfort zone to say, hey, you need to get to the next step?
Yes. Well, you know what? There is no interpretation. It's not me saying you need to do something else or you need to move quicker. If you came to me, it means that you want to act. And if you're not acting, you're not doing it for a reason. Like, I believe people don't do things for two reasons. One, they're afraid of something, and two, they don't know how to do it. So if you're moving slower than you'd like, then we need to talk about what's in the way, and we'll talk about the fear and the limiting beliefs. And then once we get that out of the way, then we could talk about logistics. But I go on the premise that you're going at the pace that's perfect for you. And if it's not, then we'll talk about it. But it can't be me. It can't be me saying you need to do something else. It has to be that you say that, I need to do something else, or my progress isn't going as fast as I'd like. I'm going to prod you. I'm going to move you. If you say you're doing something and you're not doing it, we'll talk about it. That's the accountability piece. But if you're going, little movement is better than no movement at all. So as long as you're doing little things, then I'm happy, but you need to be happy too.
So exactly. So you want to you have to want to change to make something in your life.
Yes, and you're not going to work with me unless you're ready to do it, because you have to pay me. There's something to be no, but there's something to be said for, I'm using my hard-earned money. Most of what I do. I do an executive coaching piece, and companies pay me, but the majority of people that come to me are paying out of their pocket. And career coaching is a little expensive. And it's supposed to be expensive, because if it was $25, you wouldn't put your whole life into it. Like $25, maybe I'll do the work. Maybe I'll come to the conversation, $500, $1,000 an hour. Not saying I charge that much, but if you're paying a coach out of your own money, you're going to do the work because I'm paying someone. And you have to come to the conversation with me telling me you didn't do anything. 1 week, you had a busy week, that's fine. But multiple weeks, you're going to spend your money and not do something. No, no.
Exactly. Yeah, you're paying for it. So if you
It makes
pay
a
for it, you're
difference.
gonna get it done. Yeah, make a
Yeah.
huge difference. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
but that's why it can't be cheap. Like, it can't be really inexpensive. There are people that can't afford it, and if somebody really wants it, I would work with them. But
Oh,
otherwise, if you don't put the money is what has you put yourself on the court. You do the work on the court. You don't do the work on the sidelines. There's a commitment that you make to yourself and to me, and that gets you moving.
exactly. Well said. So with the pandemic, I know a lot happens, and a lot of people also lose their jobs, and especially women, we are deal with many different things in this world. Kids, marriage, God knows it, all of it in our shoulder. So when they come to you, how do you coach them and to help them stay accountability to what they're supposed to do and hold the ground to find what they need?
So are you talking about like the pandemic, that people are doing different things, or is it like the day-to-day motivation of,
I
I'm
mean, like
working from home?
the more like the day to day juggle work life balance.
Well, what's nice about this remote is, it gives you so much flexibility. Like it's not like you have to drive somewhere and stay there all day. So, like my husband, he's a lawyer and he works in corporate America. And he used to go into the office. I mean, I work from home. I've worked from home for many many years. That's just so I'm used to it. But he commutes. He commutes. So he works when he gets there. He works, and then when he's done, he goes home. But what's great about this, and it was a switch for him, is like he'll get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, he'll do stuff. Let me take my son to school. He can come back, he can do some work. So there's more flexibility, and so you have the flexibility to take care of your kids. You have the flexibility to do other things. The downside is people are home, so you're not commuting. So there are people that are working more, but I think if you're working more, it's more of a choice. I hope that if you're working longer, you're doing it because you want to do other things, but it does give you flex. Unless you have a meeting with someone, you can juggle it. And that's the productivity. That's why productivity has gone up, because people were allowed to manage their workload. So that they might do something, go to the gym and then get it done, and then do something and then take care of the kids. They're getting it. There's more of a get it doneness. But I think you can end up
Mm-hmm.
working too much because you're not leaving your desk.
Exactly, I agree. But do you find people, especially women, that have a hard time managing that because they're not used being home with the kids at home now? There's no school, kids were home, the husband is home. Um, is it
It
like
was horrible.
did
It
you
was
find
horrible.
like hard
Yeah.
hard to manage all of them at once?
It was horrible for women. It really was, because, they were taking care of the kids, and there were so many articles about women and how this was going to take them back 10, 20, 40, 50 years. And a lot of women really did leave the workplace, and it was heartbreaking to watch. But they said, this is where I want to be. I need to be with my kids. At least now, a lot more things have opened up. Like the preschools have
Mm-hmm.
opened, the schools have opened, childcare was open. But as a mom, if you're going to choose, you're not going to choose your job over your kids. You're just, unless you really truly have to, you're just not. So,
Absolutely. So I think coaching is something that you love. I can see it in your eyes, even
mhm.
it's like a passion, something that just from your soul itself. And you've
Yes.
been doing it for a long time. But running a business can be a little bit complicated, especially during COVID-19. How do you keep yourself motivated?
Well, during COVID, it was great. Lockdown was great. I mean, I personally loved it. Because there wasn't as much stuff to do. There wasn't as much stuff to do, and I was already working from home. It really wasn't a switch for me, but it wasn't that hard. It wasn't like I was in an office then I'm home. But I'm very systems oriented, so I do things at certain points. Like when I do billing, I'll do billing on the 1st and the 15th. If I'm going to read certain things or go through certain things, I have schedules for everything. Like if I check social media because I'm on LinkedIn, maybe I do it first thing in the morning or, 5 o'clock. So I put things into systems and I put things into time. So I don't really have to think about it because there's a time allocated and there's a system allocated for it. Now that takes time. So, I have a planning problem, right? So it's like my biggest strength and my biggest weakness. So I plan, 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 plan. So in the moment, it's good, but the planning process is a little crazy, but it's still worth it. It's still worth it. So managing a business and all of that isn't really hard for me now because I've put so much in place. Before then, when I was trying to figure it out, because I came from the corporate world where you did one thing, and when you run a business, you do everything. So it took a while for me to figure it out. But right now, it's not crazy for me.
Absolutely. I do have a question for you that you're going to find super interesting. I think you're going to love it.
Okay,
So
good.
there's so many different career coach out there, and personally, I can see the passion in you compared to other people. But if I'm looking for a career coach, why should I come to you instead of pick someone else?
Oh, because I'm great. I'm great. No competition. So I think for me, I've been doing it for a long time and I love it, right? And I think that's what you want. You want someone who loves what they do because you're coming to me because you want to love what you do. And I have a certain perspective. I am data and I'm intuition. So I'm from New York. I'm very bottom line, practical, results oriented, but I'm also very spiritual. Because at the end of the day, you do all the work, which is the data, and then the leap, what you do is when you listen to yourself. So if you listen to yourself, things work out. And if you don't, you don't. So that's who I am. So if that resonates with you, then I'm your coach. And if it doesn't resonate with you, I'm not. And there's certain times that because I'll bring out the spiritual piece because it's really important. And some people don't resonate with it. So I'm not your coach. I'm not your coach. If you're looking for both, I'm your coach. Also, I do a lot of social media. I do a lot of work on LinkedIn. I post daily. I do videos. I do posts. And I have lots of testimonials. I've been doing it for over 20 years. So what I have people do is come to my LinkedIn profile and come get to know me, because it's important that you get to know me, because I am going to get to know you. So if you come to my profile and you come to my website, surpassyourdreams.com, and you like what you see, then I'm your coach. And if you don't, then I'm not. And that's okay. Then I may not be for everyone, and that's perfectly fine.
Absolutely, but I don't see why someone wouldn't want
That's
someone
what I'm
like
saying.
you.
I'm going back to the
Okay?
hair again. Yes.
Exactly. Not only
Mm-hmm.
you are fabulous, but you are
Mm-hmm.
doing something. This is not something you're doing for money. It's something you are doing because it's a passion. It's
Of
something
course.
you love. And you don't find everyone on earth love what they do. Sometimes they're just doing it because they have no choice. That's the only way they can make the money.
Well,
But it's,
they think they have no choice, right?
yes,
Your
yes.
career is about planning. You are where you are right now. Where do you want to be? The rest of it is just a gap, and then you just identify the gap, and then you can put time frames. I'll be here for 6 months. I'll be here for a year. I'll be here for 2 years. I'll be 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. But it's all about having a plan. And if you had a plan, then you don't feel trapped. Then you don't feel stuck. Then you don't feel powerless. How you get your
Mhm.
power back is by facing it and doing the inner work to figure out who you are and what you want, and then putting a plan together.
Exactly. And
Oh, and there's no other way. There's no magic pill. You have to do the work.
are you sure there's no magic
No, 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 no,
pill?
no. No, you have to do the work. So by the time you come to me, you're ready to do the work. You might not know what to do or how to get there, but you're willing to try. You're willing to try. And if you're willing to try, then we'll get there.
Yeah, but you know what I like? I like the way you look at career. You look at it in a whole different prospect, like in a whole different ways that most people don't. And that's what's make you being a coach. It's great. So
Yeah.
it's like you look at it in a whole different way. So especially when you take someone when they get there, they're gonna love what they do. Why don't you want to love what you do? You know?
Why don't you want to love what you do, right?
Yeah.
But you don't think it's possible, so you're just stuck. I mean, really, all it is you're just stuck. You're just stuck. But the cons have to outweigh the pros. Otherwise, you're not going to act, because there's so many other things that you have to do. Working on your career takes time and it takes energy. So
Exactly.
you have to get to a point where the cons outweigh the pros.
Absolutely. The only thing I can say, if you need to call your coach, well, you know who to reach out to. Don't reach out to me because I can help you. So, what is the road ahead? I know being a go getter, I'm sure you still have things that you want to accomplish for yourself and also for the company.
Yes. Well, I want to grow, right? I want to grow, 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 grow. But I also want to. I'm in the process of growing my thought leadership, like really putting
Ooh.
myself out there. Like I'm going to be 57 soon, so I'm 56 years old. I started doing videos this year. 56 years old, I started doing videos. So I post videos to LinkedIn. I'm on TikTok. I did a class for TikTok. You're not for the over 50 crowd, right? You're not too old to be on TikTok, right? And I had like, you won't believe how many women came to this class. So that I'm growing my thought leadership, and I want to just help more and more and more and more and more people. Now, where it's going to go, I don't know. Like I'm almost hoping in a certain way it'll take on a life of its own and it'll go where it's supposed to go. But I'm doing God. I believe I'm doing God's work. I'm doing the work that I was born to do. So it's going to go where it's supposed to go. I just need to go in the direction that life is taking me. So it's kind of fun. It's exciting.
Mhm.
I know where it's going, but I don't know where it's going. But I know where it's going, but I don't know where it's going. So it's like it's exciting. Like I just have to keep going, keep going. Like, okay, let's write stuff. Like, I mean, I'm posting stuff and like, articles just come to me. Like I'm like, oh, what do I write about? And then all of a sudden, boom, it just comes and 10 minutes later, like there's a post. But it takes courage to listen to that, and it takes courage to post. You know.
But I know one thing for sure. I'm going to follow you on TikTok because I
Next
want to
time.
watch these videos.
Yeah, I'm not a hit on TikTok, not yet, because I'm more business oriented, Like I think if I did a video and I fell down, I would get like millions of views, but I haven't fallen yet. Like I'm still on one foot. I need a bird to like poop on me or something.
Yeah.
And then so I'm not really a hit, but the thing about TikTok, and everybody has said the same story. Everybody has the same story, which was I just kept posting videos. I just kept posting videos, and one day it hit. One day it took off. You don't know when it's going to go. You don't know what video it is. You might think this is the video. It's going to go viral, but it doesn't. But as long as you're there, as long as you do it, at a certain point, it'll hit.
It will.
Everybody has the same story. Every single person.
Wow, that's interesting.
But that's it. I mean, that's all you have to do. And with your career, if you do the work, you'll get where you're going. Everybody has the same
Absolutely.
story.
By the way, between just me and you don't look 56.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing the hair thing again.
Well, any advice for future women entrepreneurs that you have to that's competing? It's a big world out there, and trying as a woman trying to start a business, it's a lot. So, any advice that you have for them?
Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, like just do it. Take little steps. Do one thing. One thing every day is 7 things at the end of the week with 30 things at the end of the month. Like just keep taking small steps and do one thing every day, no matter what.
I love it. Just keep moving forward.
Just keep moving. Keep it moving.
Thank you, Deborah. Anything else you'd like to share with us before I let you go?
No, this was awesome. Do the work that you were born to do.
And if you don't know what it is, reach out to Deborah that can help you with that. Don't reach out to me. Thank you, Deborah, for the time and for your knowledge and for sharing everything about your business. I appreciate you taking the time to be with me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.